With each passing year, prices on classic video games climb a little higher, and I doubt this trend is going to change anytime soon. However, there are still deals to be found, and on good games too. The original Nintendo is no exception, so on today's episode of 5 Games, I present 5 cheap NES games. However, I have 2 requirements. First, they must be of decent quality, and second, they must cost less than $7 US. So, here we go. RC Pro-Am is a top-down racer from Rare, and one of the better racing games on the platform. Basically, all you need to do is finish in the top 3, earn a trophy, and proceed to the next track. Finish last and it's game over, but you do receive 3 continues. The highlight of RC Pro-Am are the controls. They are wonderfully twitchy, and maneuvering through the courses is a lot of fun. The cars themselves also like to drift, and the best way to be successful is to memorize the tracks. Of course, you could also just blast your way past the competition with 2 different weapons. The missile lets you shoot cars in front of you, while the bombs let you clear enemies behind you. Additionally, collecting different upgrades scattered about will improve your performance. And finally, collecting tiles and spelling out Nintendo will graduate you to the next vehicle. Pretty awesome. RC Pro-Am isn't perfect though. The rubber band AI artificially keeps races close, negating the entire upgrade system, and some of the obstacles encountered can be rather annoying. Still, as a whole, RC Pro-Am is a great little racing game for the NES, and for less than $5 is an absolute steal. Tiger-Heli is quite possibly the very first shmup I had ever played, but as a kid I hated it and couldn't get past level 2. As an adult, with a fondness for Taoplan's other shooters like Twin Cobra and Truxton, I find the game quite enjoyable. Tiger-Heli is a simple game, just shoot everything on the screen and avoid enemy fire. Your helicopter moves a bit slow, but most of the enemies telegraph where they are going to fire with their turrets, so it is easy to get into a nice rhythm of avoiding fire and moving in for a kill. Another great addition are the little helis. These come in a couple of different varieties, firing forwards or sideways, and greatly add to your firepower, but are fragile and will go down in a single hit. Compared to other shooters on the NES, Tiger-Heli is a bit basic, but I do enjoy the simple gameplay, just bomb or shoot. And the simplicity also lends to some fairly vibrant graphics with minimal flickering and a solid frame rate. Even better, the game is dirt cheap and can be found for around $4. While Tiger-Heli may not be the best shmup on the NES, it is an incredible value and easy to recommend. Super Mario Bros. Is easily one of the best platformers of all time, and I'll take any excuse to record new footage and play this legendary game again. What makes the game so terrific is how each and every platform and enemy is meticulously placed in a specific spot. There is nothing random here, and when you hold down the speed button and race through the level as quickly as possible, it becomes very obvious how special this game really is. In addition to the awesome level design are some outstanding controls. Mario's momentum is spot on, and the jumping remains some of the most fluid and intuitive of any platformer I've ever played. It's hard to believe this game is over 30 years old. It's rather amazing. Add in iconic music, vibrant graphics, drug use, a ton of levels, and plenty of secrets, and it's no wonder this game raised the American video game market back from the brink of extinction. As the game was bundled with many versions of the NES, there are millions of copies out there, and it remains one of the cheapest Mario games available, and one of the greatest values in all of gaming. Excite Bike is another game I've owned since I was a kid, but it wasn't until NES Remix on the Wii U that I really started to get into it. This is a side-scrolling racing game, though you are really racing against the clock rather than opponents. To score a podium finish, you need to memorize the courses, master landing, and manage your dirt bike's heat. You see, there are 2 gears, high and low. Using the high gear gives a boost of speed, but increases your engine's temperature. If the bike overheats, you pull over and wait for it to cool down. There are just 5 courses, but the difficulty increases nicely as you progress through the championship, and beating them all is no easy feat. After getting comfortable with the A mode, you can move on to the B mode, which adds opponents onto the course. These guys move somewhat erratically, and running into them will cause you to crash. Like any classic NES game, Excitebike has the perfect blend of simplistic, responsive controls and challenge, and this makes for an addicting experience. Finally, there is a track designer, if you're into that sort of thing. Clocking in at just under $7, Excitebike is another great bargain for the Nintendo Entertainment System, and I highly recommend it. Last and certainly not least is Konami's Jackal. You take control of a well-equipped Jeep and traverse your way through 6 levels and 6 bosses, rescuing POWs and being an all-around 80s badass. Jackal is all kinds of awesome and easily my favorite top-down shooter on the NES. Your Jeep has 2 weapons. The first always fires up, allowing you to strafe. The second weapon is an upgradable bomb, which fires in the direction you are facing. The combination of the two assures no enemy is out of reach. Your Jeep is also quite maneuverable and can move in all 8 directions. With the excellent maneuverability and flexible weapons, Jackal never puts you in an awkward situation where enemies are impossible to hit. There is something incredibly accessible about the game, and even if you aren't a fan of the genre, Jackal should provide plenty of enjoyment. Add in some awesome bosses requiring different strategies, a classic Konami soundtrack with plenty of 8-bit bass, cooperative play, the ability to run over enemies, which is immensely satisfying, and you have a classic game. It's simple, it's Konami, and for $7, it really doesn't get much better than this. So there you have it, 5 cheap yet good games released for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Now, this is not a definitive list, nor is it intended to be a best of, and the NES has a massive library filled with good bargains, so be sure to leave a comment and let me know some of your favorites.